I'm Kristina. I live in Tulare, and I work at Mulcahy Middle School as an 8th grade language arts teacher, and I also work with students with special needs. I enjoy traveling, spending time with my family. Oh, and Disneyland. Disneyland's my all-time favorite. I can't wait to go back. Today we're going to be making cauliflower fried rice. I have here 3 pounds of cauliflower rice, 1 full can of Spam, which I've diced up, and 4 to 6 eggs. There's 6 in here today. 1 whole small onion, a cup and a half of frozen vegetables, 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 3 to 4 cloves of garlic, and green onions for garnish, and some salt and pepper. I'm going to start with first putting a little bit of olive oil, just a little bit, just to coat the pan, into the pan. And I do have a sizzling hot pan here, I can tell. I've scrambled my eggs. I'm going to pour it into the pan and just scramble them in here. So when I make my eggs, I like to make sure they're nice and hard to make sure when I scramble them into the rice, there's not going to be any runny stuff in there. And then I just put them in a bowl and set them aside for a minute. And they will be incorporated back in here later. For the Spam, I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit. I don't add any more oil into it because it'll give off a little bit of oil as it goes. So I just put it back into the same pan. It all goes. So on the Spam, you want to heat it through, but you don't want to make it too crispy. Otherwise, it gets a little funky in the recipe. And if there's any big chunks in here, I just use my spatula and cut it. You want the sides of them to be like kind of like a golden brown-ish color, like that. So it only takes a couple minutes. And make sure you keep stirring it around so it doesn't burn the pan. So using Spam is actually a new thing for me to do this. I usually use bacon, actually. So the bacon gives off a lot of grease, and if you use bacon, do not drain the grease out of it once you are done cooking it, because you'll want all that yummy fat and goodness to cook into the rice. Gives it an extra flavor. So then I just put it back in the same pan that I used for the eggs to hold it in. It all just goes right back in there too. If you don't want to use bacon or you don't have Spam, you can use whatever protein you want. You could use chicken, you could use turkey. I've done it with ground turkey before. Ground beef wasn't my favorite, but you could use it. Pork, I've done, oh, pulled pork. Leftover pulled pork. That was the greatest. I am going to turn up the heat just a little bit. And I'm going to add just a little bit more olive oil to the pan. Maybe about a half a teaspoon, or a tablespoon to a tablespoon. I'll use more in a minute. And just let that heat up. So before you put your cauliflower rice in, you do want to stir fry your onions and garlic for just a couple minutes till they get fragrant. So now I'm going to add the cauliflower fried rice. You can make your own cauliflower fried rice, but that's a lot of time. Buy the frozen stuff. Really, everything here is just pulling stuff out of the freezer and whatever you have. You don't have to use the bagged vegetables. You can use fresh vegetables. It's whatever you want to use, whatever you like. So now just cook it enough to break up these big old chunks. Coat everything in the olive oil. If you, oh, I should say, if you do want to use fresh vegetables in this, I would stir fry them a little bit and cook them before putting them in here, because it won't really cook in here. And then I'm also going to turn up the heat a lot. So all you're doing here is you're just cooking. The cauliflower rice is already cooked, but you just want to make sure it's heated through and that there aren't any cold spots in there. All right, once it's heated through, mostly, you can add in 1.5 cups to 2 cups of frozen vegetables. It's 1 bag of frozen vegetables. Again, you can use whatever you want. Again, you want to let that heat through as well. Mix it all together. And now you just want to add back in your eggs and Spam, and you just want to heat this just so they're heated back up again. And you might need to break the egg up a little bit, and that's fine too. So again, if you want more onion, you can add more onion to this. If you want, my son really likes a really garlicky flavor, so you can add lots of garlic. He likes it like that. All right, now comes my favorite part, the soy sauce. And just listen for the sizzle. All right, it makes a good, nice sizzle when you, I don't know if you heard that, but it does. And again, if you want more soy sauce, you can definitely add more soy sauce. Soy sauces have a lot of salt in it though, so I try to go less before I go more. So like I said, soy sauce has a lot of salt, so you go, I have just about like a pinch of salt to 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and about a teaspoon of, no, I lied, about a tablespoon of pepper in here, and just sprinkle it around. And mix it in. And there you have it. Cauliflower fried rice with Spam. Thank you.